speaking of stories, there has been a few good collection finds. I've been saving some of these bigger stores until the channel's a bit bigger because I don't want to waste them. I got some good ones.
Yeah.
But this one stuck with me because it was so cool.
Yeah.
I remember when we brought these comic books, when you brought them back up to Washington and I showed them to Russ. He just was like, he was flabbergasted. Yeah. I remember him walking into the room, looking at him, standing back and going, this shit just doesn't happen anymore, man. This is so cool. And it wasn't even that there was like crazy good stuff. It was just all really cool. So I want to talk about that collection find because that happened in your neck of the woods in Montana over 7 years ago.
Yeah, 7, 8 years ago. Absolutely. Right? Yeah.
So the Montana collection.
So this is a different, because we talked about that other collection that I found in Montana. This actually happened before that.
Ooh, okay.
So when I first moved to Montana, I did research, as you should too, if you're wherever you're from, Craigslist, Little Nickel, any of that stuff.
Know your area.
Know your area. I made a posting on Craigslist. Like, if you have comic books, everybody does it over here, but in Montana, that doesn't happen as much. So doing that, I found that there was an estate sale, and the 325th item that they mentioned, comic books. I'm like, okay. So I actually called them, and I'm like, do you have comic books? Like, yes, we do. I can't tell you what they are, but we opened doors at, I believe it was 8 o'clock in the morning. Might have been 7. I can't remember the exact time.
Early.
But the reason why I bring up the time is everything in Montana is super far from everything else.
Sure.
The next town on either side of the town that we live in is 20 miles. So anyway, it's 2+ hours to get there. And I had told you, hey, I'm going to go check this collection out, see what's going on. I need to leave early. I don't know if there's going to be a lot of people there or not.
There was no pictures.
No, nothing.
There was no pictures.
It was just a list of things.
And it looked like someone died.
Right.
From the list. And I remember you hitting me up really late and you're like, I'm going to do it. Like, I don't know if there's something there, but I'm going to do it. And the first point that we can make is you can, regardless of where you live, if you do a Google search, estate sale in blank county, there will be a couple websites that are going to be prominent in your area, more active than others. It's different for us in Washington than it will be for you in maybe California or New York or Florida. But you do a Google search and you're going to find an estate sale locator. Within that, you want to sign up for that newsletter or that email list because they'll send you, because this is something very common across the country, various businesses that's what they do is they do estate sales for people who have passed away. And this is where they get uploaded and you can be notified like you were the night before. Hey, because here's the kicker with estate sales. Most places, especially if they're professional, they know they cannot put the address up.
Oh, no.
They know they cannot put pictures up.
They have to do it the night before.
They can't even put very many pictures up until a day or two before. You know why?
Why is that?
Because if they put the address up, hey, there's all these collectibles and all these things worth money, and the person's dead. Yeah. There's nobody there. Nobody. Here's the address. Come and take all the shit. And that's what happens. So it actually helps with the competition because everybody who's waiting to find out what's in there, they're finding out around the same time. Within a day or two before it happens. They don't even know the location. So you have a really good shot if you're there really early and you are looking every day. So you never know.
Right. So I used estatesales.net and they'll send you put your zip code and it'll tell you up to 100 miles around when there's one happening. Anyway, I saw it. I decided it's 2+ hours, which is that was my concern. I'm going to drive 2+ hours there and then not find anything. And I'm like, you know what? I need to do it. I need to take the risk. I did get there. There are so many people there. It's crazy.
Isn't that like a terrible feeling?
Oh, dude, I was so anxious. Yeah. I'm like, oh my goodness, what's happening? So anyway, I wasn't even the first. I got there early. I wasn't even anywhere near. There was already a ton of people there.
If you're not an hour early, you're not going to get it. You're late. Yeah.
They open the doors and everybody rushes in. And I try to get in as fast as possible. And I'm not looking around, which is another thing that you should keep in mind. don't waste time looking around. I looked for the person that looked like they were in charge.
Hey,
where are the comic books?
Where are the comics? Point in the direction.
Yeah. And then she goes, oh, it's over there, blah, blah, blah. Go check them out. So I go, and just as I'm getting to the comic, there's these boxes of stuff there. Just as I'm getting to this box, this lady just gets in front of me and starts going through all of them and putting
How'd you
I'm
feel
like, oh.
in that moment right there? You just drove 2.5 hours.
Dude, I was so sick to my stomach. I thought I was gonna puke. I'm like, there's this lady.
It's gonna happen right now.
No, she's gonna buy that Spider-Man number 1 for $2. Yeah, you know, it's going through my
in your head. You're
no. I'm hoping that she doesn't know what she's looking at, and she didn't. She pulled out some weird, random comic books, and then she steps away. And I found some superhero-y stuff, but the cool stuff that I found was Golden Age Western comics.
Yes.
And they're not the most popular thing to get, but how were the covers on those? What did they look? I've never seen something that old look that good.
It was they were all minimum fine, very fine.
Yep.
Every single
some near
one.
mint, they were just freaking beautiful.
There were some Gene Autry. I mean, they're not superhero, they're not huge, but when they're from 48, when they're from 51, 52, and they look like this, and the colors, and the photo covers, oh my gosh, and they had that smell of dreams and aspirations.
So I'm looking through these, and so I grab them. I'm like, I just grab the box, and I start looking through them, and there are 2 tiny little comic books. They're maybe half the size.
I forgot. Yeah.
It was Rocket Man and Captain Marvel Jr.
Yep.
And so I look at them, and
I
think I text you Bullet Man, and I look at it, and it's 1945 or 44. It said 1944.
We'll put it up. Yeah.
But had no price. So I'm like, oh, what is this? Is it any good? I don't know. I'll grab it.
It's a miniature comic.
So I just grabbed the whole box and just and they were, by the way, $1 a piece. If it was any superhero stuff, they were $3 a piece. So I paid $3 for that Bullet Man and Captain Marvel Jr.
And $1 for everything else.
So I'm leaving. As I'm about to leave, there's a stack of little tiny books, and I grab them, and they're like the very first version of graphic novels.
Little Big Books.
They're called Little Big Books, and I grabbed I think 1 or 2, and I put it on top of the box, and I go stand in line to go pay for it. As I'm standing in line, this guy walks by me, and he says, "Hey, good catch with those Little Big Books, man. Those are worth $20 to $50 a piece." There was a stack of these things where I took 2. There's a stack of like 20 of them, and I'm like, "Oh, thanks, man." I run out. I just go, and I bought every single one of them, $2 a piece.
Yep.
And so I come out. And I called Tom. I was like, dude, I got some stuff. I don't know what I have. Because at that point, I don't know anything about Western comic books.
Or these Little Big Books.
Oh, there's the Little Big Books. Or the little...
miniatures.
Those smallish comic books. They were given to our troops during World War II. That's why they have no price on them. They weren't sold.
Yeah.
And when they read it, they threw them out.
Yeah.
So... rare comic books.
Yeah, and there was most of those too that they sent out were more war focused. They weren't superheroes weren't a big win for the vets at that time. They were more into like sci-fi, fantasy, and westerns and wars kinds of stuff.
Back then, that was little kid stuff.
Right.
I'm a grown man, man. I'm in the war. I'm gonna die tomorrow.
Yeah.
What am I gonna read about?
Yeah, I'll read about this guy
in underwear.
Yeah. It wasn't until like Invaders came out and Kirby brought a huge new demographic into the community of fans of like war stories and stuff. But yeah, those miniatures were gorgeous. They were so cool. Definitely my favorite pieces from that collection. But that's how it goes. You have to always just check.
Yeah, but if I would have been discouraged because I had to drive 2+ hours there, that's 5 hours of my day. what are the odds that I'm going to get there in time to go look? But you know what? You have 0% chance of getting anything if you don't go.
True.
And he was just sitting there, nobody looking at him.
I want to know, the audience, have you had any really cool estate sale finds? And do you have any tips and tricks that you could maybe put in the comment section below? How about the comic fam?
Yeah.
Give us some pointers.
Yeah, for sure. And any stories, any cool thing that might happen to you looking for comic books.
Yeah.
Because you can get them anywhere. That's why I never pass a yard sale or something. I'm always looking. Always looking.
You always have to ask.
Yeah.
Doesn't take
Yeah.
more than a
Doesn't
second.
cost you anything.
Yeah. I've had garage sales where I've said, hey, I know I don't see anything here, but any comic books or magic cards or anything like that? I'm like, oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Hold on, let me,
this table.
let me go in the house real quick and grab the ones I didn't think anyone would want that. You know, you just always got to ask.
Yeah.
Don't forget to like and subscribe to this video and hit that notification bell as well. You don't want to miss out on any content that we're doing.
That's right.
And where can they find you?
GTFOpodcast.com. And I also run a eBay store, Geekasoid, on eBay.
Cool.
You can look them up there.
I'll
And
put your- in
Instagram
the
at
description.
GTFO Podcast.
Very good. GTFO Podcast. Thank you so much for joining me, and we appreciate the comic community. As always,
Geek responsibly.
enough said. Thank you so much for watching the video. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And yeah, geekstreet101.com. That's my website where you can sign up for the mystery mail call where I send you comic books monthly.